Hi there. No. No. Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend, J.E., and myself, Alex Gonzalez, will bring you a product you never knew you needed. Now let's get started with this. Mice. Computer mice, in particular.
I always think of the animal first. I'm like, mice.
Everyone always does. I don't know why. I have a big hand. You're a big-handed individual.
Mm-hmm.
My hand completely dwarfs a mouse. Sometimes there's a little shelf for my ring finger, but rare, if ever. I want to create a mouse for a big person's hand, but I think it would be better if this was a mouse that countered carpal tunnel. What if this is a mouse that you could stick your hand into and then rest, and it cooled it?
You want like a Mega Man blaster as like a mouse, like something you...
No, something smaller than that, but big, like almost like a pancake. But like it would form to your hand, you know. So instead of it resting on top, you would go inside and it would have wrist support too.
So you kind of want like, let's say, more like a oven mitt that you put on, and inside the hand part of the oven mitt there is a mouse there, type of thing.
Yeah, with little clickers, but it felt great.
Yeah, definitely. I feel it. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be completely covered like an oven mitt would be. You'd stick your hand in, right? And it fits more like... It's like all open air, but there's like a wrist part that you have to stick your hand through first, and that like attaches like...
I was thinking you could like lift, like have a latch and then put your hand in and then latch.
No, that's too many. That's too many steps, man. It has to be like maybe like a Velcro thing that you take off, you put your hand in there, you Velcro it on, and then it gives you some support. The mouse is there, and you just move, because you're supposed to, when you play on PC, at least video games, you're supposed to move your whole arm, right? Not just
exactly. So I don't want to be conducive to that.
Yeah. So like it'll help make it so your whole arm has to move instead of just moving your wrist, because now it's attached to this thing, and you can move your wrist around. It's not going to be stiff and uncomfortable, but it'll kind of urge you to move your whole arm around, not so much just the wrist like I do when I play PC games. And after 20 minutes, I feel like totally in pain, my shoulders cramping up and everything. But yeah, I
exactly.
See
it would train you.
Yeah, definitely.
And it would feel comfortable, so you wouldn't feel like because sometimes my hand will feel crampy as I'm holding onto a mouse like that.
Yeah. In terms of how to make this giant thing glide around your mouse pad, I think the reason why most mice are small is because it'll be harder to have a smooth gliding around. You maybe want it to be, I don't know, elevated in any way, or is it just going to have to be super smooth at the bottom, whatever the material is?
I think super smooth, and then maybe we create and we bring our own mouse pad too that comes with the product, and it's a really big mouse pad, something like 1x1.
Interesting. Yeah, most definitely. In terms of the mouse itself, do you want this to be like you could buy the glove and then put in the mouse of your choice, and then we also have our own mouse, obviously, but do you want it to be like if other people have a preferred mouse?
No, you wouldn't be. I don't think anyone would make another mouse for this. It would have to be unique to us, because this product isn't something I've ever seen anywhere else. So I don't think people would pivot and cater products to us.
So do you want to make this super unique then, where it's like it's not just the traditional right click, left click? What if we made it so all our fingers are on something that could do something?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was thinking even like that the thumb would have like a number pad, so it would have its own like 12 buttons, because you can move it around. It's much more dexterous. And the other ones, you could also have up to 2 buttons, where you could have a front button and a back button. Maybe it curls around, so it's almost like you're resting your hand not flat, but curling like this. So then you could like reach down and press another button. So each one, you'd have more buttons to play with. So if you wanted to do something like do an MMO, you would be able to just play right there. You would never have to touch anything else or do keybinds that way.
Yeah, definitely. So, I don't think it would be a great idea to like have it so you're clawing. Really, maybe it will.
No, like just relaxed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
relaxed on top.
Right.
But relaxed hands, I don't think are completely flat. Right? There's a little bend to them.
Well, especially if you're hovering over a mouse, you know. As far as the thumb part goes, I feel like instead of having like a number pad or whatever, it's going to be more like an analog stick, maybe, or like the stupid nub on a 3DS, but way more comfortable than that nub.
Yeah.
Something that you could use as maybe like a more finite mouse movement, or maybe it could be more of like how the I guess how like the nub works, where you could choose menus like that instead. You know what I mean? Where like if you're playing a visual novel, for example, you would use that analog stick to move between options, up and down, left, right, and all that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Because you know how on like
little...
some PC games, especially if you're playing a visual novel, instead of just moving up and down like you would on a gamepad, you have to physically put your mouse over the actual like option you want to choose and then click it, and then it brings you more dialogue and you got to move your mouse down. I feel like in those instances it would just be easier just to use a controller for that type of stuff, whereas there are obviously more things a mouse can do than a gamepad.
Yeah, maybe, and it would give it finer precision, I guess, if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah,
definitely. How do you want it to feel on the inside? Like what kind of feel? We can make it where it just is more airy, so your hand doesn't sweat, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's actually a covering. I think it's just more of like
a frame.
A frame,
like a shell?
Exactly. Like something you just put your hand into, and everything surrounding it is just more for structure and also like padding in certain areas, so your arm doesn't get tired or your wrist doesn't get tired and stuff like that.
I like that.
Like in my head, it looks like kind of like an Oculus Rift controller, but that
was actually one of my inspirations.
Yeah, definitely.
Because especially for me, working at a desk, sometimes I don't go out in the field, so I'll sometimes work at a desk for 10 hours a day or so. Using a mouse for that long, you're like, you get over it. And then to come home and then use a mouse again isn't something you're really looking forward to. Mm-hmm. So to have something more comfortable like that would be good, especially something like that that's a shell, so you don't sweat a lot. You can still move. It would be great for MMOs because there'd be tons of buttons. Still great for shooters because you can flick it. Mm-hmm. What price do you think this thing would come in at? I'm thinking something like $100.
In my head, it'd be like $80, but I also don't know how much high-end mice cost. Like how expensive is a high-end gaming mouse?
It can be a lot, like 120.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. In my head, that sounds kind of cheap, actually. What's the top gaming mouse out today right now? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Gaming mouse. A gaming mouse from Logitech will run you. Let's do the RGB lighting technology on their light sync stuff. Let me see where their mouse is. So they're more displaying their keyboards. But yeah, once you get down to the mice, yeah, it looks like 130 is one of the more expensive ones. 150 is a really expensive one. Okay, yeah, so they don't get that like super pricey like a keyboard or like a headset could come out to. So maybe we could charge a little bit more for this. Maybe it could end up being like around $150.
I like that. There we go.
Mouse pad can be a little bit more pricier because I know really big mice pads could also be pretty pricey as well.
Oh, most definitely. So I like that. Well, any other features you could see yourself adding on to this?
I mean, gamers love their RGB lighting.
The lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could add that too.
It could definitely have
and
like
make it pulse with the music.
Yeah.
Also work with music and pulse with that.
Maybe like how it, in my head the shell kind of looks like there'll be like a couple strips of like not plastic, but that bendy plastic feel stuff. I don't know what it's actually made out of. But you see it in like headsets a lot, and you see it in like other random electronic stuff. But like there'll be a couple strips of that all coming from the
lighting strips, so it can bend and then go around it, and then
from the front to the back where it holds your arm and straps it in.
Definitely.
And all those strips, I can imagine having like lighting across it. You know what I mean? Like either in the middle or on the sides, like a LED strip.
Yeah, this thing sounds dope.
Is it going to be wired or wireless? Do you think wired? Probably, right?
Wired. Yeah, it'll be.
Maybe there'll be a wireless version as well.
Eventually, yeah. You just have to go through batteries, or it'll be rechargeable.
Yeah, most definitely.
It'll be like 7 hours or so. Razer, make this happen. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at @poundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the @Pound family, come find us at patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning Make This Happen gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second to give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with Jay's brilliant idea.
Car huts or heads-up display in a car.
Oh, I'm loving this. That's gonna be great.
You think so?
Yeah. Have you? You've driven high-end cars, right? With like their own HUDs.
Yeah.
Where it's like on the windshield. It's really fucking dope.
It is really cool. I've driven a Tesla. What is it called?
Model S.
Is that the cheap one? Not cheap.
Model C.
Yeah, that one.
Model C.
I mean, I've been in an S as well. S, I think, is a little distracting. But yeah, the Tesla's super dope. It's cool seeing stuff on your windshield.
And the newest Corvettes have it. Camaros have it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Can't wait to do it.